Hello everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to another video by clip on my YouTube channel. First of all, Happy New Year, and I wish you from my heart all the best in this year. So, for this week, I'm gonna show you how to make a deeper tracks, or generally, I had the requests from several people demanding a video about square basses. Now, when I started exploring about square basses, like to make a square bass is pretty easy, but generally, when I'm gonna show you what is the main catch about when you want to make this type of the bass lines. So, how to address this, I was thinking about for some amount of time, and honestly, there's a lot of people, I will not mention those new artists that are making this type of the music, but you probably already know, like the square basses. But honestly, I believe that is a little bit unfair calling that new style by those new artists' names, as originally this style, I need to say it, I'm calling it for more than 10 years now. It's a loud style, and I believe that loud are the ones, if not the ones, who invented this type of this subgenre of Psytrance. They are the ones who experienced the biggest success, and maybe somebody who pushed it to the mainstream, and maybe, in my opinion, the band who was making the best, who was making this type of the music the best. So something that people call square, it doesn't matter which type of the oscillation we're gonna use. Generally, I just want to pass as this type of music is using a different philosophy, different psychoacoustic approach to the whole tracks. So my original style, and something that I mostly make, is sharp kicks and sharp bass lines. I like mostly to use lower notes, but that doesn't matter. Like when we talk about psychoacoustics, like my bass lines are containing a lot of mid and high informations. They are pretty punchy. The transient is pretty loud. And when we see a frequency spectrum, we can see that it's full of all frequencies, and that the lowest harmonics are almost equal as the mid ones, or sometimes just 2 decibels higher. So in general, when we have this type of the bass lines, like the plucky ones, as I like to call it, so everything that is plucking or punching all the time, we have this psychoacoustic feeling that it's closer to us, so it's more in front of the face. And it's the same for the kicks, and I always use a bit the kicks with the more punch, and that way we have this machine gun effect, as some people like to call it. While this type of the style, and I will call it loud style, as this is how I feel and this is how I see it. It doesn't need to mean that I'm like 100% right, or will you agree with me. That really doesn't matter. Personally, I strongly believe that loud is a band who invented this, and I have a urge to address this style as a loud style, as that way I just want to give a respect to Kobe and Ethan for making this style, and I have enjoyed a lot. And I was pretty sad when I heard the news that Loud will not exist as a band anymore. Anyway, luckily we have the Kobe as a project now, and we have Ethan Reiter and Out of Orbit, which is pretty close to loud style. Anyway, so just let's go to this, and this is gonna be about the kick and the bass. So for the people who requested the square bass line videos, this is my how I see the whole situation about this square style of the music. Generally, the most important thing is which I already explained, is that, or the biggest mistake that I see that people are making while they try to make this square bass style of music, is to using the same kicks as they use for rolling bass lines. Rolling bass lines, as I already said, they are more punchier, they are more, and their main effectiveness is when we have a lot of mids and highs in the transient, and that way they're gonna be in the face, while this square style of the music is actually opposite. Like, this music is a low frequency concentrated, and in order to make a deeper tracks, we need to choose different samples or to sound design those samples differently. So here I have the kick 2. So I already spent around half an hour just to make this kick in order to give you the right results. So as you can hear, there's not much of the mids, but if we check the equalizer, I have only small reduction of 2.6 decibels on 400, and here I have a little bit of boost on 100 hertz, and that's all. So there's the main goal or the main effect of making this type of the kick is not in the EQ, it is more in the synthesis. To make this properly, I will just go through some of the important stuff about the kicks. So this is a sine wave, as we already know. So the pitch from 20k from this position till 41 in this case, which is like E note. So some of you will say the kick is tuned on E note, but it is not. It's not possible, because for this 236 milliseconds is going from 350 till 41. So maybe this last one, but even if I bounce now and if I extend only this oscillation over here, you'll realize that it's not E note anyway. It doesn't matter. All of my kicks will end up around 40, 35, 40, as that way I get the best results anyway. The main idea and the main thing about this is that when you want to make this type of the music, that the main thing about it is that it's a little bit deeper, which means that softer kicks, that by reducing the mids and highs, we're gonna push these elements backwards. If we have a lot of punch on the mids and on the highs, on the kick and the bass, they cannot be deep, as even if you go low, they're gonna be darker if you reduce the keynote of the track. But the depth, like psychoacoustic, I'm talking about psychoacoustics, like we cannot push them backwards. They cannot be the background, as with the mids and highs, they're gonna be always in the face. So to do so on the kick, we can use the kick that already has a lot of mid information and high and try to reduce it, but you will end up of not having a results that you want. And the best way is that you design your own kick, or to find similar kicks to this, like in some different sample packs. Let's say something about tech house or progressive house, so something softer, which you will be able later on to layer with some Psytrance hi-hats on top of it, and to shape the transient to sit much better for a Psytrance music. But generally, the main thing about is the pitch envelope. So this kick now is pretty deep. So the length is 236 milliseconds, and from this point to this point is actually what is the most important. So now I have a pretty small amount of time of having a pitch from 20k till 350. So this amount of time, for example, if I want, I will just keep this kick. Actually, I'm gonna delete this one as well, and I'm gonna duplicate it. So, and I'm gonna open this one. So this is a deep kick. Psytrance kicks are mostly something like this. So for this type of the music, the main mistake people are making is having these Psytrance kicks that are more like tuck, 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 more punching in the face. And if you want to create depth of this track, the best way is just to reduce it and to make this comparing with The same thing go about the bass line. So I have some triplet bass line that just goes something like this. It doesn't matter, I just tried to replicate some of the loud tracks. As you can see, almost everything is the same, like the processing, multibands, R-bass, Vitamin, PJ979. Here I have, okay, low cut and some EQing. But mostly what I did over here is that I reduced the envelope on the filters. So again, I do not want to have more. Or I don't need to have at all the envelope on the filter cut off at all, because the main idea about this music and to making a square basses is not to have the punch or the transient, is to have the whole bass line more concentrated in the lows. You can use even the sine wave oscillator for this music. If you manipulate with the phase correctly, you'll get pretty nice results. So it is the same thing. Like for example, now I can use this one for the rolling bass line as well. And yeah, with the snare and the hi-hat. So the main idea about this is that you reduce, or actually to design the kick, use some softer kicks or make it to be a bit more soft. And this one I made from default preset, just opened and just tweaked around. But generally you can try to replicate it. So from 20k till 400 and 349, and around which point I don't know. The length is always around 200 and it's ending up at 41, and play around with those settings. I always have the R bass -11 at 101. The phase doesn't matter, it will depend from the bass line. I did boost on 100 Hz, and I have again the clearing of so it sounds good even without this as well. And I have the span over here, and of course the limiter, just in order if something try to clip on this channel. And generally the main idea is to show you how to make square bass lines. So thank you very much for watching, and this video would be how to make the loud kick in the bass and generally the whole philosophy behind that. And I had this urge to give the credit to Loud for this type of the style, as I really like their music a lot. And as I already mentioned, I'm pretty sad they have finished their collaboration together. But anyway, so this is how you can do it. And